Okay.
Either way, I'll be like straight up transparent. Like I didn't take soccer that serious.
Okay.
My sport, if anything, was volleyball, but then just never really took it far because I busted my shoulders playing football.
Damn.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're talking like Gronk and Tom Brady then.
Yeah, maybe.
Dynamic wise, maybe, yeah.
Maybe.
Okay, I like that. I like that. So your journey, you guys grew up, all that good stuff. Now the network, business, the podcasting. To give us the story. Why did the podcast even become a thing? Was it like a last minute conversation, late night conversation? What were we doing?
Yeah, so I guess like back in 2020, obviously during COVID, everyone their world got shook, right? So that's when we started. Well, I guess originally it was me and another buddy I have named Sergio. We started a podcast called CCC Radio. So it was talking about financial literacy. So we thought it was super important to teach others about like credit, TFSA, stocks, etc. Right? Because like that's something that I was never taught when I was growing up. And then we realized we're not financial advisors, so it's probably a good idea to like not talk about financial literacy, right? Especially when we haven't really implemented the strategies yet, right? Like we're just learning about it as well. And then that's when we kind of pivoted from like a financial literacy company to like more just talking about business, entrepreneurship, like-minded individuals. And at that time, Sergio kind of, I guess he wasn't really about like a podcast, you know what I mean? And I didn't want to do it by myself. So then I just asked this guy, and this guy was ready, bro. He was ready.
Even to like, they asked me to come on episode 3. So I did an episode with them, kind of seeing like the reins of it. I was already listening to podcasts a little bit before that, but I like the comfortability of talking to people and kind of like picking their brain, seeing like how they, like what makes a person, right? So as that went on, I was like, let me help you. Let me be the other side of you. So then we started working on it. We actually had someone else doing the back end, but a lot of it was just me and him. So then as we start to develop, we start to see like, okay, this actually works. I can bounce off him. I can wait for him to ask a question, but also too, I'm planning my next attack in a way.
Jeez, I love this. I love this. So what has been some of the trials and tribulations when you talk about business? Let's stick with business right now, because I know you're an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
I see you at the conferences and things like that. You guys have a new conference that's going to be coming up in what, 2 months from now?
A couple months from now.
Yeah, Patrick Bet-David and stuff like that. What
Yeah.
would you say is like one of the biggest struggles of business right now for you guys?
I would say it's personalities. Being able to figure out how everyone's personality works a certain way. And even too, it's just like emotions, right? Everyone's an emotional person. This will piss someone off. This will make somebody love something. So you have to kind of do that balance of a dance. Once you kind of figure out where everyone plays their role, that's kind of how I see business. Because at the same time, you can't have everybody doing the same thing. Everyone's got to wear a different hat. And maybe everybody wants to wear the same hat, but it just doesn't work. And if it does work, there's going to be issues, at least in my eyes.
Damn, I never heard that breakdown there. I like that. That kind of made me feel a type of way, because you have to deal with a lot of personalities.
Yeah.
Even in like back and forth dialogue conversation, you know what I mean? Like this is a conversation that me and you, we all have had, and we decided to simply sit here and just build off of it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we're all like chilling guys. We're podcasters. Well, you know, we pretty sure we know how to work the reins and stuff like that. Yeah. What comes up for you though, my man?
Yeah, for me in regards to business, I would say like the biggest issue is wearing too many hats in a business. You know what I mean?
Okay, talk about that.
So for example, like for those who don't know, like I have a cleaning company, my brother and I, and it's one of those where we're really trying to grow, right? But you gotta like, when you're growing as a small business, you're trying to get new clientele, but at the same time, you're trying to grow your team, right? So it's like you have 2 cards to play. You gotta bring more business into the company, and also grow the company with individuals and people who are gonna work, right? So yeah, I guess in regards to like my biggest struggle with business is trying to manage too much, I feel, but it's something that like I'm not burning out, and I don't feel like I'm burning out anytime soon, but it's one of those where it does consume a lot of my time, and I do need to start outsourcing a lot of like tasks, right? So that's the first thing that comes to my mind for me.
That's what happens though. That's a part of business though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I still work a 9 to 5. I pull 40 hours a week.
Yeah.
But then you know with the podcast, you're putting another 15 to 20, maybe longer of hours.
Yeah.
Finding guests, editing the content, doing all that other stuff. You know what I mean? So when you're thinking about time, we have to maximize as most time as we can. You know what I mean? Because it's like squeezing as much juice out the lemon that we can. You know what I mean? You know? So
and like a lot of people, I find like they think it's cool to like have a business, quote unquote, right? But like when you really think about it, it's so much more work than what you think. You know what I mean? So a lot of people they don't see that, and it's probably more work than a 9 to 5. You know what I mean? Like being an entrepreneur, because it's always on your mind, right?
100%.
Like,
Even too, I always hear the line like get off the tools, right? Like that's usually everyone's goal. But if you're the business owner, I think that like idea takes a lot longer to achieve than most people think, right? Like you're not just gonna start a business and automatically be off the tools. Sometimes you're gonna do a year or two, maybe 3 years. Like you got to show everybody that you're willing to be out in the field just as they should be, almost lead by example. Then you'll get that goal. But most people just think it's like, okay, I can hire this person, this person, this person. They'll all do their roles, and then I'm already off. But it doesn't really necessarily always, I guess, happen that easily would be the way to say it.
Mm-hmm. What would you guys say is your biggest aha moment in business or podcasting?
I would say for me, myself, my biggest aha moment in business was just like, I guess like believing in yourself and just like not like, you always hear people about talking about like imposter syndrome, right? Like, oh, I have imposter syndrome. It's like, why do you have imposter syndrome? You know what I mean? Is it because you're not confident in yourself? Is it because you know that you're not doing the things that you know you have to do? You know what I mean? So I would say for me right away, it's just like believing in myself, because there was a point where I wasn't generating much leads for my business, but then I said, you know, I need to just go out there, knock on doors, go into businesses, give them my card, be myself, be charismatic, be who I know I am. And then, yeah, 1 contract comes in, 2 contracts come in, 3 contracts come in, right? In a short period of time, when I was overthinking it and thinking that I have to work on the back end of the business, I was really just procrastinating. You know what I mean? So like, just like knowing, just get down and dirty, do your shit. Stop being someone who's like, yeah, I have a business, but you're not like really pushing the needle forward, right? So just believing in yourself and knowing that you are that person, you are that guy, you are that gal who is capable, right? Just, it's a mindset, really.
Like that. I felt that.
Mine, I think, is defeating validation almost in a way, because everything we do, you want someone to like pat you on the back or be like, you're doing a good job, right? What I found with myself is like, I'll do stuff thinking that, okay, one day someone's going to say something, but a lot of the time you just got to keep your nose down, just do it, and then someone will say something eventually. But you need to kind of remove that feeling or that thought process that somebody has to say that to you, because you're not doing things for other people. Some people do, and that's fine. But when you can kind of dive into yourself and really figure out that, okay, I'm doing this for myself, and whoever it pulls in like a gravity, those are the people that matter most. And if you can't get past that, you're always chasing that feeling that, okay, guess what? Good job, pat on the back. When does that end though? Because if it never ends, then what? Like, when did you find your, I guess, like a passion or, I guess, gratification within yourself?
You guys are speaking some rich dialogue for the audience. So I always like to say this is like, we've never really had these minds, right? They had to start from somewhere. Mm-hmm. When did it start for you guys when you're like, listen, society is telling us one thing about where it is where we're supposed to pivot through the world, but then versus what you guys had to do, like self-study? Was it a book? Was it going to a networking conference? What started it for you guys?
I think mine, honestly, a lot of it was like COVID time. We're like just being pinned and not really having a dictation on what you get to do, right? Mm-hmm. We're all told, okay, stay home, get the vax, do this, right? I struggled with that so much because I'm like, I don't necessarily want to just listen. I don't say that in a bad way. It's just the fact that I seen that it just coordinated everybody, just follow this, do this, be by guidelines. And even to like, at least in my family, I'm really rebellious, I would say. Straight up, I'll say I was the last one to even think about getting the vaccine in my family. I got a lot of pushback. Everyone's saying, do it. I'm sad enough to say, didn't want to do it. And the repercussions I felt within my family, extreme. But within that, I was able to also find a power within, when I make a decision, I got to ride it out no matter what. So when that kind of feeling fueled me, I knew that whatever decision I'm going to make moving forward, I have to trust myself. And then it just kind of lateraled into what we're doing now.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Ricardo, talk to me.
I would say for me, it kind of started at Queen's University when my one buddy talked to me about a stock. And at that time, like we were talking about financial literacy, I didn't even know what a stock was at university, bro. So it's one of those things where I was never taught as like a kid, you know, my surroundings, like we weren't really talking about stocks, right? So it was one of those things where I'm like, what the fuck is a stock? And then the guy showed me, this is a stock, you buy it, you sell it whenever, da-da-da. And then it was more like that financial education. And then I was like, aha, okay. So there is another world to all this, you know what I mean? Like there is ways of making money, keeping money. I don't know, just like continuing on. Like we're lucky to be in a country where it allows you to really like take on whatever you want, right? So that was my aha moment when I'm like, okay, money it's not just work, get paid, spend the money, work, get paid, you know what I mean? So that's when it really clicked for me. I was like, okay, like these guys are moving different out here, you know?
Mm-hmm. So information changing situations.
100%. That's what it is.
Because I feel like I can speak to what you're saying about pandemic, being pushed to certain laws and principles and things like that, learning about stocks. For me, it's like, I've always had it inside of me, but I always felt a way. I was like, what can I do more? And that's when I said to one of my friends, if he was in this building, I'd say the exact same thing, and he can back me up. It was, you're going to find out who's working the hardest in the pandemic. Who's reading the books. Everybody was up till 5 o'clock in the morning on, what was it, High Five, doing all that stuff. I was downloading PDFs, right? And knowing and understanding where is it that I wanted to go, right? Let's sharpen the tool. Let's work on those, could be traumatic experiences for some, but really just saying, listen, how am I going to amplify what it is I want to do and get to that next level? You see what I'm saying? Because it goes into the product. It goes into the work, you know?
Yeah, and like a couple books I would say is like obviously like Rich Dad Poor Dad. A lot of people talk about that one, but also 12 Rules for Life, Jordan Peterson. That was one that really like checked me. I was like,
I'm getting goosebumps now, man.
I said, oh shit.
I'm getting goosebumps when you just said that, though.
Bro.
Sheesh.
That one's a real one.
Even too recently, like I just finished Power because one of our buddies actually gave it to us, and I usually thought, how do you apply reading a book, almost in a way, right? Because you could read it and just kind of throw it away, right? Just in one ear, out the other. Especially with Power, I found there's so many little things that it teaches you how to, I wouldn't say manipulate people, but it's really to understand, I guess, like how your words.
48 Laws of Power, right?
Yep. And it's just like how you articulate yourself can deliver a different message to somebody. Because if I'm confident in the way I speak to someone, right, they're going to eat that confidence, right? But if I'm shy, then what are they going to get? Probably a shy person. Now, am I going to trust you? I don't know.
Every major person that's read the 48 Laws of Power apply like 2 to 3 of those laws in real life.
Yeah.
And you have to do it. Now, you can use it for manipulation, because there's some people out there that use the 48 Laws of Power for manipulation.
Yeah.
I don't advise that. But if you're going to use it to just better yourself and get and reap the rewards that you know it's going to come with, then by all means, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, it's wild just like how much information you can get from books, you know what I mean? Like that's just the craziest thing. Like you have to always be listening or reading and educating yourself.
Have you ever heard someone say it's an evil book?
Some people, here's the thing is if you have a slave mentality and you are, how do I say this? What's the word I'm looking for? Because I know the audience are going to hear this and be like, oh, here he goes again. But if you're like easily programmed and you listen to what other people are saying and you're brainwashed or psyoped, yeah, of course you read the book and you'd be like, oh, this is manipulation tool 101.
Yeah.
It is. Like I could start saying some names out here, but then we'll get drop them. I'm not trying to drop the names like that though. But just look around, you can see a lot of world leaders have used the 48 Laws of Power. Right? A lot of our politicians have used the 48 Laws of Power. But then there's the parts of using it for you to elevate and to get through business, right? But always protecting the investments when it comes to business or collaboration. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
Things like that. We talk about collaboration. Collaboration is a thing, man. Oh, here we go. The deep end. Ready, guys? Ready to jump? No life jacket.
Let's go, bro.
How do y'all feel about collaboration in 2024? Before you answer, I just want to cook here because I feel like collaboration, you have some that want to ride on your coattails so they can reap the rewards, reap the successes. Or you have the ones that want to collaborate with you and build with you and keep this climbing the top of the mountain, right? Come from one of my guests, he said top of the mountain, right? when you're at the top of the mountain, it's like, who are you going to take with you? Right? We're not going to be like Drake and like hike down the mountain to go get Kendrick. You know what I mean? You see what I'm saying? Yeah. But what I'm trying to say is that we got to be able to rally with everybody. And you got some people that are clout chasers. Shout outs to you. You got some people that are haters. And you got some people that just watch what you do.
Yeah.
How do y'all feel about collaboration right now in the world? Speak on it. Let's go. Open platform.
Quick. At least from the experience of like the development of the podcast, you really realize who was with you from the start, and then like where we are now, how much people just want to get on the platform now.
Here we go.
I remember, I literally remembered, I ain't going to call out names, but I remember us reaching out to people and no answer, nothing like that. And then now full circle, those same people are coming back to us asking to be on the platform.
Yeah.
So it's like, we want to collab with you when we had nothing. We just had like, what's the word? We had a platform to give them a space to talk. That's all we could provide. But now that we have a network, we have it all, I would say, so far. Now they want to work with us. So it's hard not to, I guess, not get mad at them, or at least like catch a complex that, guess what? They're just working in their best benefits, but I'm not going to lie, it does irk me in some form.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would say with
you just took a deep breath before you. I feel like you want to drop some gospel on us here.
No. But like in regards to collaboration, like you need it. You know what I mean? Like if you want to be a successful business or podcast or whatever you're doing, like you need to collaborate with others in your industry. Like that's a must. Like you and I collaborate. You know, we talk. Yes. We talk on the phone. We talk about like ideas and stuff like that. So it's like super important. But for me, it's like follow your gut. You know, there's some people out there who, like you said, they just want to ride your wave. They want to come on the show. They're not going to share the stories. They're not going to collab on anything. They're not going to even like comment or like any reel or any picture, right? So it's one of those where it's like, why did you come on, right?
Right on the coattails.
Yeah.
Mary Poppins, man, with the umbrella.
Yeah.
Spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down. That's what it is.
Yeah.
And not to stomp on what you're about to say though, but it's just like, you see it and then they're like, oh, well, these guys are bitter because, well, we may want to come on their show, but now they're bitter and they want to take a step back. And it's like, no, have a piece of value that you're going to bring to the show because you're going to get value here. Yeah. You know what I mean?
100%.
And it's like, is it going to be about collaborating? If it's going to be about sharing or liking, spread it out. Mm-hmm. The people I've collaborated with now, like you see them will share the show and then they'll say to you like, hey, do you want me to tag you to collaborator on this? And they have monster channels. I'm like, no, don't worry about that. Mm. But that's me because it's like, it's not about that. Mm-hmm. It's about the energy that we're creating. Because people are going to see it. People are going to, okay, wait, this clip is out here. If that clip is going viral on their channel, they're going to double back around. But I feel like with collaboration right now, especially Instagram or using whatever channel, everybody wants to increase their numbers.
Yeah, it's all about the numbers.
They're like, well, wait, let me get my followers up.
Yeah.
Look, there's tools out there I can check and see if your engagement on Instagram is doing any good.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? But anyway, let's go back to.
But no, just like like who are you as a person, right? Like who are you as a person? Because if you're like, I don't know, if I feel like I can collaborate with you in person, it's like okay, like we can start to brew a relationship. It's starting to grow, right? And it's starting to get even more solid. Let's continue. Let's work together. I'll pass business to you. You pass business to me. Sure, but it's not even about business. It's just like let's grow. I want to see you win, right? But yeah, some people just love to fucking ride the wave.
I even remember when you were on our podcast last time, you actually give the sauce about when people reply right away, or if they don't reply, or if they read. It's kind of that aspect too, right? It's like if they don't see immediate value, why are they going to collab, right? So it's how do you get that person there? And then even too, when you get it there, are they going to be as solid as you are when you put yourself out there?
Yeah.
Well said.
And some people are Hollywood, bro. Some people are Hollywood. You
think it's Hollywood?
Some people are Hollywood. I'm not gonna say no names, but there's some people who.
So let me ask you a question. How do you feel about that? People being Hollywood? Because I'll be honest. Some people look at me and they look at the guests. They look at the 7 years of body of work, and I've been called, "Yo, you're Hollywood now," but they say it in a way where it's not like they're not being demeaning about it. They're like, "Yo, you're like growing. You're like guy. You're like a celebrity." I'm like, no.
Yeah.
If I was a celebrity, you guys would know I'm a celebrity, but I still will not ignore people. I'm still going to be checking my DMs. When you get to that point in the life, I can't check every DM. Maybe it's going to be offshore conversations. Maybe I see you in person and stuff like that. But it's like, as you're growing and you network and you go to these, you go to these conferences or you meet the people, you meet the guests. you're gonna increase. How do I say this? The Thanos rings.
Yeah.
You're gonna get the Thanos rings, and all of us we're trying to get all 6 rings so we can have those continuous snaps. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And some people just want to get that one ring, and it's like, okay, I'm good here. But then you see those memes with the Sonic rings, and then when you get hit, it's like, what happens? It's game over. You played Sonic. We all played Sonic. When you lose all your rings, you're like, where do I go now? What do I do? You're scrounging, but you can't do that. You got to make sure get all the rings, and then just like, hey, here's a ring for you. Here's a ring for you, and you get it back tenfold. You know what I mean?
Could I ask you why would you collab with someone and why wouldn't you?
Like he said, the gut. The gut will tell you. But sometimes it's because we have such big hearts. You sometimes don't catch it till after. Because I've had that happen. It's always after, right? It's always that after you see like the funny movements happen. So when I collaborate with people now, it's like my biggest thing is I just look at what are they doing and why do they want to come on. If it's about advertising your business and we're local, I'm for that. Because now my audience is getting around you. But the thing is, people got to realize I'm worldwide. I'm not in just the small pocket that we're in. We're in, I'll say it, whatever, London, Ontario to Toronto. And then there's a lot of American base, you know what I mean? Especially when you're on YouTube, you see the metrics there.
Yeah.
It's all over the place. So it's like, if you're a local business, maybe there could be somebody in that pipeline that could look at your business and say, hey, listen, all right, let me maybe get them to come to a networking event or a trade show or something like that. Now I feel like what eliminates me for not collaborating with some people is because you can just see it. It just reeks. It just reeks as you're an opportunist. You're an opportunist. You just want to ride. I've had it happen. I could tell you episodes upon episodes where people have come on this show. They come on, they tell their story, and then something happens down the road where it's like, I need the episode taken down. That's happened to me. It's happened to me.
Same with us.
And I said, okay, cool. All right, cool.
It's annoying.
Blocked.
Yeah.
Blocked. Like it's
Really,
now. Yeah, I take the episode down and I say, see you later. Because what you're doing is not only you're infringing on my business, but you see the growth. And you thought I was going to come back and then take you up the mountain. Right? You see what I'm saying? I'm not going to hike down, bring you up the mountain, and then what do you think is going to happen now? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah, man.
Yeah, that's facts, right? Yeah. It sucks. It's no worse feeling than that, bro. Then when someone's like, oh, like take down the episode, and you're like, yo, we just spent 2 hours like talking, working, networking. In person, you didn't say that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And I think the hard part is too is like people don't see all the work that took to get to that episode, right? There's some you have to travel. There's all the editing hours, all the clipping, everything like that. Even the relationship building, right? Because a lot of times the podcast doesn't just end after this right here. It goes.
This one's gonna end right when it's I gotta go somewhere else.
Well,
it's all good.
But even too, it's just like after the podcast when we're asking, okay, can we see all the audio and stuff like that, right? It just doesn't end that easily, right? So then it's like, do they not realize that work we put in too, or is it just? I don't know.
I'm gonna talk spicy here.
Hit it.
I think a lot of people look at podcasting and they don't understand what podcasting is because they say that the first podcaster that comes to their mind is Joe Rogan. Yeah. And I try to say to people, he's not a podcaster. He's an entertainer that then turned into a podcaster, right? Now, with that being said, it's like a lot of people don't understand what goes on in this. So they think it's just, they just talk in mics. No, you got to know how not to talk over people. This is a form of media. Yeah. So you start gaining some traction as far as like how to talk into a mic and not how to interrupt people. And some people are like, oh, okay. And you see some people like, and this and on a podcast, and I'm just like, you gotta read a book. I'm sorry. You just gotta work on that vocabulary a little bit, right? But they say, oh, you gotta meet people where they're at. But at the same time, I'm just like, yes, but if you're gonna come on the show, you have to be like, have some sort of media presence about you.
Yeah, 100%.
Like know how to talk.
Yeah, and it's also like your social battery. Like, you know what I mean? Like we're coming into it like after long days of work, after maybe a couple podcasts already, and we have the energy, right? So it's like that social battery. Like people don't see how much that drains. You know what I mean? Especially being a podcaster and talking for hours to new individuals, people you know, people you just met, etc. Right?
For sure.
It's tiring, bro.
It's coming up for you. I feel like the gears are turning always with you.
Like for me, at least my thought process behind it is, everyone thinks with a podcast you develop so many talking skills is a really good way to put it. You said it. We don't talk over each other. We don't even have headphones on, and that's like a big building block for a lot of people. It's like, put on your headphones, because you'll hear how people like will try to interject, but you don't hear it right now, right? I kind of have to look at you, or I have to look at you and give you like a social cue where I'm like, I'm gonna come in without interrupting you, let you finish your piece. So when I see podcasts, they're like, you said you've been here 7 years?
7 years, man.
You're a pioneer. A pioneer. He asked me about it. It's like, did you think of being at the head of a trend beforehand? I was like, no. This might be the first time we get to experience that. Mm-hmm. So now when I see how podcasts are just kind of pumping out, like in London now, I know of maybe like 15 that are coming out.
There's 15 podcasts in the city?
I was gonna say, I didn't even know that.
Coming out, yes. Like
Okay.
if you actually look deep, there's a lot of them coming out. But he actually mentioned a really good comment to me. He's like, wait till 20 episodes. right? Right? What happens then?
Oh, bro.
Right?
I'm not laughing at them.
No, I
because
know.
the thing
I know.
is-
It's because you know.
The thing is, majority of people don't get past double digits.
Yeah.
They don't even get to double digits, right? To do as this is coming out, if I do the timeline on this, you guys are probably going to be 490.
Yeah, you're almost at 5.
3?
That's rowdy, bro.
93, 94. 4. And I know people are going to hear that and be like, 4. Yeah, we're about 500.
Bro, what are you doing episode 500,
Yeah.
bro?
That's
a milestone.
That I can't say yet.
Have you even celebrated anything yet?
I've done a couple things here and there,
Yeah.
but like it's, for me, it's just keep going.
It's what, a party? 500?
Party?
500? What's going
500
Yeah,
party?
come on.
on? I want to go,
Spill it,
bro.
yo.
That's huge, bro. 500 episodes, man?
The 500 episode is dedicated to somebody that's big in the network
Okay.
that said he wanted to come back on to
Okay.
celebrate
Oh, that's
me.
sick.
Okay,
Okay.
that's amazing.
Now, when we
That's
do the
amazing.
500 episodes,
Yeah.
yeah, there'll be some stuff planned. It won't be, it's invite only.
Holy, easy now.
Okay.
It's going to be an invite only, for
I
sure,
love that.
for sure. Invite only and just a vibe, you know what I mean?
Yeah, bro, 100%.
But I'm trying to stretch it to maybe October, but that means being on hiatus for a couple
Yeah.
things.
yeah.
Maybe this roll out 500 episode on October 31st, but
That'd be sick.
Jeez.
when I look at it, the 500 episode would come out in July, so I'd have August, September.
Then you're just
I would-
chilling. Oh.
You know what I mean? So I think what I'll do is there might be some times where some episodes may just be like a break here and there. You know what I mean? Just to
Yeah.
really like leverage it out.
That's crazy, though. That's like a huge milestone, bro. Like,
It is, man.
amazing. Such a big accomplishment. Like, you know what I mean? You can't downplay that.
Because even too for
You
us,
gotta go
we're-
hard.
We're gonna celebrate 100. So like,
You better celebrate 100.
so when we hear you're at 500. You're approaching 500, and like you haven't really done, as that we know, anything humongous. It's like, why? And it's like, okay, we're gonna celebrate 100. So it's like, it's
What
not-
episode you guys at?
90.
No, 89.
No, it's gonna be the new one we're gonna record is gonna be episode 90.
Yeah.
Episode 90. So you guys are technically 10 away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
10 weeks.
I got something for y'all.
Okay.
I'll make sure I know where your office is at. So we'll get it. We'll get it mailed if we need to. You know what I
Okay,
mean?
bet.
A little something for
Appreciate that,
the
boss.
boys. You know what I mean?
Yeah, appreciate it.
For sure. Because I believe in what you guys got going on, and it even speaks even deeper to minority. You see what I'm saying? Because we are the minority, and I think like when people look at us and they see the minority, they're like, oh, the struggles we have to go through. This is how it is. Things are not necessarily handed to us. So when I see like-minded individuals that are out here striving, you know what I mean? It's wholesome. It's welcoming. When you guys look at yourselves as minority, what do you want your community to really take from you guys?
Yeah, I mean, like I could start off by saying like I'm Latino, a Salvadorian. This guy's Latino too, Honduras and Nicaragua. So basically the same shit. You know what I mean?
They're just cousins.
But yeah, I guess in regards to like community, like I just want my community to know that like you can do anything. You know what I mean? You can do anything. Like I do have real estate and I do real estate with my wife, right? So that was something that in my mind, it's like, how can I even own real estate like 5 years ago, 6 years ago? You know what I mean? But it's one of those where it's like, you gotta just take on anything, even if it's really challenging. Just do it. There's people like Alfonso, for example. Yeah. Alfonso's an El Salvadorian guy who owns $200 million in real estate asset, and he's from El Salvador. So when I saw him, I'm like, holy shit. Like the first time I seen a Salvadorian man be so successful. So it kind of just shows like, doesn't matter like who you are, like what you've been through, you can get it. You know what I mean? Like just breaking that barrier for anyone. And like Latinos, I feel like, I don't know, I feel like we like to work. You know what I mean? Like they just like to work. And it's not always has to be like that. You know what I mean? What would you say, Coco?
My thought process is, so as a young kid, I didn't really have a role model, especially in this like industry, right? The only one I can kind of think of is, do you remember MTV? Mm-hmm. Remember how the one Spanish co-host with, I can't even remember his name, but
what's his name? Is he not
is
doing
it like
boxing now?
Eddie or something? I don't know, something like that.
He was on Saved by the Bell, right? Is that what we're talking about?
No. So
that's Mario. Like, who is that?
No, Mario Lopez.
Yeah,
that's what I was thinking.
So I'm literally talking about like Much TV. Like it'd be like this one white girl and this one Spanish guy, right? I'm thinking that far back. That was the first time like I had where I saw someone that looked like me or could speak like me that I'm like, oh, you know what? They're doing something, right? For me, there wasn't really a famous person that really looked at like that. Like I think of like Mario Lopez, didn't resonate with it. Still felt too far apart. Cesar Millan, loved them, still felt too apart. So as I grew up, I didn't really feel like I had somebody that I could attach to like that. So as I've grown myself, I've seen like my little cousin. I've seen my godson. I saw this one kid actually, like I went to Jersey Mike's to get food. Spanish kid, knew I was Spanish. We started talking. He's like, oh, you do a podcast? He's like, I always wanted to do one. Oh, tell me all about it. I want to be that. I want to be able to have somebody literally just see me, ask me what I do, and be inspired in that aspect.
Love that. You guys are going to go see a legend.
Oh.
A legend.
Yeah.
Patrick Bet David. That's on my bucket list. That's my goals. And I'm rooting for you guys. Like, this is on record, right? I'm rooting for you guys to go to that conference and just excel and rock it. Mm-hmm. What are you guys hoping to get from that conference?
I'll chime in first.
Yeah,
one thing, for me at least, I had to break. I still have a fear of it. When I go there, I promised myself I wouldn't be the same person I am today. That's a major promise, right? Because I don't not saying I'm not doing anything with my life right now, but when I get there, I really want to have something that I'm super proud of, that I can display. It's not that I don't have that, but I want to elevate myself that much more from where I'm at right now. So it's hard because I have a lot of like mental expectations. At the end of it, I want to be able to walk away from that and be like, okay, you know what? I siphoned all this information. Now I actually have to freaking apply it. So if I don't apply it, why the hell did I go?
Yeah, facts. And like for me, it's similar. You know what I mean? It's like we bought these tickets like knowing that they were so far out in the summer, and we're not going to be the same people that we were at that time. You know, when we show up there, we need to be better men. You know, better men with like our mental, our physical, with our friends, with our network, right? I think the biggest thing for me mostly was just breaking the barrier of like you're different from another human being. You know what I mean? Having a podcast and talking to so many successful people across from you, face to face, you start to realize everyone breathes, everyone shits, everyone eats, everyone's gonna die. You know what I mean? So seeing that in person, especially with someone as big as Pat Bet David, I feel like it's really gonna, I don't want to say like humble me, but it's really gonna put things into perspective as like that's just another man who's crushing what he's doing and who's determined. You know what I mean? So like I feel like that energy will come off as well.
I want to ask you, have you heard the line, don't you never want to meet your heroes?
Yeah.
Is that a fear with meeting him in any way?
No, I wouldn't say that's a fear at all. Cause I'm just going to learn from him, like from what he's saying, you know what I mean? Like really, really see him doing what it's doing. And we're going with a bunch of like-minded individuals. Yeah. We're going with a bunch of monsters, straight hustlers, people who are pulling millions yearly. Like their businesses are just generating lots of cash, lots of money. So we're naturally going to be forced to have to like be in that zone. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like that dog zone. And we're due for that, bro.
Yeah, honestly. 100%.
Yeah. So after Patrick Bet David, you guys come back. Uncapped Network.
Yeah, because we were here for New Vita, right? When you were here last time?
Yeah. Now it's Uncapped Network.
Yeah. Will you like it or not?
I like New Vita, man.
Yeah, eh?
Yeah. I don't know why you guys switched it.
Huh.
This guy's all like,
No, that's good. It's good feedback. Like, you know what I
Me
mean?
too. What's the perspective of like why don't you like or not? Don't you? Why'd you like New Vita over Uncapped?
because I like how it rolls off the tongue better. Uncapped Network, and it's no disrespect to the brand.
Of course.
It's when I hear Uncapped, I'm like, all right, Uncapped. Like when you're out and you say, yo, I was just on New Vita Talks, you're like, ooh. You see, it rolls different, right?
Yeah.
It rolls
Fair
different.
enough, yeah.
It's like, oh, I was on the Uncapped Network. Oh, okay. So they think that what they hear is they hear network. When you hear New Vita Talks, they're like, something talks. Ooh, okay. That's that pristine, you know?
Yeah. No,
That's
hey,
like
I
when Jay-Z
respect
says,
that.
you got the crystal, you know?
Yeah.
All right, right?
All right.
So, like I was saying, you guys come back from that. How's that going to amplify the network and the podcast?
I would say people are gonna look at us a little different. Honestly, I think.
Okay.
And it sucks because it's the idea of like, oh, you're with these guys, so now you're bigwig. It goes back to the whole idea like they don't see you until you're already at the finish line. They didn't see you running the whole race. So I feel that's kind of something we have to accept in a way, because there's nothing we can do about it, right? We're gonna meet him. People are gonna see us meet him. Then they're gonna come in. They're like, how'd that go? Da, 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 da. The whole conversation is gonna flow from there. So that it's almost kind of holding us back. That changed us, because it didn't. It was just an event that happened that just made us climb. That's it.
Yeah, I would agree with what you said, and also it's just like it's gonna naturally add that fire under our asses. You know what I mean? Like, I would think that when we come back from that, we're just gonna be way more intentful with our episodes, the way we navigate, the way we do production services, ads, focusing more on our brand, just knowing that, like, you know, you're not doing enough. That's the whole point of this, right? It's like you want to go there and be like, oh fuck, I'm not doing enough. I need to be doing more. And I feel like that's when we're gonna just really take over. To be honest.
I'm rooting for you guys. I want to see everything.
Yeah.
But we ain't going to tell them the tea, because there's the other tea I want to give you, but we can't. That's going to have to go behind the Patreon eventually. Stuff
Okay,
like
bet.
that. But before we get out of here, I want you guys plug Uncapped Network, everything you guys got going on, the social media, all that good stuff.
Yeah. Social media, Ricardo Carranza, and it's the Uncapped Network on Instagram. You can also find us on YouTube, Spotify. Boom. Make sure you tune in.
To follow me, it's at Coca Nostra. Make sure you go on YouTube, type in Uncapped. You'll find us. Watch those episodes. There's a bunch of freaking good tea there. There's another one with Rory. You can see the other side of him when he's not interviewing. And not only that, if you guys need any help here in the city, outside the city, production work, even running your own podcast, we got you.
Yeah.
Like, there's not much more to say than that.
Yeah.
And it's always going to be rich and promising networking with you guys, man. Like, it's appreciative, you know what I mean? And let's keep riding the wheels to the bus. What is it? Ride the wheels to the wheels on the bus go round and round. What? I don't know. I just butchered that. But anyways, guys, we out.